Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Zakaria the Ghost. Now we are on part 2. If you didn't watch part 1, please go and watch part 1 so that you can understand the story on part 2. Now that we are here, the gentleman called me and he said, Tabo, let's do business again. And I came back to Johannesburg. I remember I didn't even have money that time. I had to go and borrow money to come back to Johannesburg. And he told me that I know what you're capable of doing. I know what you can do. I know you can deliver. You don't even have to worry much about that. The position is yours, but I just want to make sure that you will also go to interview, for formality so that others will see that I don't have a special treatment when it comes to you. It was fine. We sat down, we spoke about money. I remember when they said, no, we are going to pay you 3,000 and you are going to be doing the mothballing. We already have the guy who is doing the job, but we want to beef up the team, make sure that we have more power, And I was happy with it because I was not working during that time. And he told me that, don't worry, this time we are going to do things right. This time we are going to register the company. Everything is going to be fine. Okay, I got a job. I remember, the first month that I worked there, it was very, very difficult, although I was excited because we were like mothballing over, 1,000 cars a day. There was a team of drivers who were getting paid by each and every car that they were driving. Once they go to the security and they get the key, of the certain car, and they will bring the car to the wash bay, and my job is to wash that car, and they will go to the other lady who will write their name and the job number of the car that they're driving, so that they can know how many cars they drove, so how much money they made, because I remember they were getting something like 5 rand per car, so they have to drive as many cars as they can so that they can make more money. That means I have to wash as many cars as I can. I have to be fast so that the guys or the drivers, they can also make more money, because my salary was fixed. I was getting 3,000 a month and the guys were getting paid per car. But what happened was that when it's month end, these guys will get 8,000, some will get like maybe 6,000 rand. I remember the supervisor was getting about 10,000 rand and I was only getting 3,000 rand. These guys are a new team. I've been with this guy, for many years. I worked with him by the time we were, dealing with trucks. And now when they came back again for the second time, now the wife is the one who is running the company, and the guy is telling me that everything has to go through my wife. And I'm like, but you know me. I've been working with you, man, for many years. He was like, say, yeah, man, I understand, but we have to run everything through my wife. And that time, the wife, she had her favorites. She has her own people that she doesn't mind to give them a car to go and drive around and, do stuff, that is work related. And that didn't sit well with me, but I, kept cool. I did what I'm supposed to do, work hard, deliver, make sure that, the guys are satisfied by the speed that, I am making sure that I'm washing their cars so that they can make more money. They are happy and they see the addition of what I'm bringing to the team. They can make more money. And I remember one day when he came to me with the wife and they said, we have known you for many years now. We have known you for more than 10 years. We've been working together because on that previous company, I think we worked for 5 to maybe 7 years. And he said, we are not happy to see you working this hard, washing cars, and we were talking and we think it will be better for you to get a driver's license. I said, no, that's a good idea. They said, yeah, you see these other guys, they're just new, they're young, and we are paying them double than what we are paying. I said, okay, that's fine. So now they said, okay, do the driver's license, come back with the driver's license, let's sit down and let's talk about your salary. Of course, it's gonna move from 3,000, but we don't know how much you're going to give you, but it's gonna be better. I'm like, okay, cool. Now, the problem was that I was in too much pressure in a way that I didn't have enough time to study. I would go there, write a learner's test and fail. go there, write a litmus test and fail. And I remember when I was talking to them, I said, look, I don't have enough time because I'm also struggling financially. Once I get paid 3,000, I have to go and pay like 800 or 1,000 for a rent where I'm staying. And, I have to pay for my daughter's maintenance. And, things are not looking good on my side. I have to work Saturday and Sunday so that I can get extra money so I can have, food. So I asked them nicely to borrow me 5,000 rand. Just borrow me 5K so that I can have money to go and do the driver's license. And I remember they said no. They cannot borrow me 5,000 rand. I continue working and they asked me for a favor. They said, look, we have BMW contract that we want to win. And we have about 1,000 cars, BMW and Mini Coopers. And these cars are coming from Pretoria, Roslyn, here to Motovia. So we want you to mothball these cars so that we can impress the big boss from BMW. And I was like, okay, no problem. But now the trick was, or the most difficult thing was that I will have to wake up by 4 o'clock early in the morning, show up at work and start working from 5 o'clock early in the morning. There was a tractor which has a blue tank. You see those Jojo tank whereby it's filled with water. So I had the machine at the one that we used to spray water with. I forgot, it's a gun spray or whatever. I forgot the name. It has the compressor whereby it can steam the water whereby we use it to mothball the cars. So I had to do that every morning from 5 o'clock, make sure that I mothball the cars until 7 o'clock early in the morning. By 7 o'clock, I have to take the tractor back to the tap where I park it and refill water so that it can be ready. And I will leave the tractor and focus on, doing the normal shift with everyone, with the whole team, making sure that maybe we will do maybe more than 1,000 cars a day mothballing. So when we knock off by 5 o'clock, all the team, the guys will go home, and I will go back to that tractor, which is filled with water now, and take the tractor, drive back to BMWs, and start working on those BMWs. I continue from where I left off 7 o'clock early in the morning. And I'll knock off by 7 o'clock in the evening, and I have to take the tractor back to the tap and refill the tank with water, getting ready so that tomorrow morning by 5 o'clock, I will start the process and make sure that, in this short period of time, when BMW bosses come in, they will be impressed by our work. And I did that. And I remember there was a guy who is the supervisor who was supposed to help me with the tractor every day because I didn't have a license. But the gentleman was not showing up, early in the morning. He will arrive a bit late and I couldn't wait for him. So I had to jump on top of a tractor simply because I already learned how to drive cars. That time I was just, waxing those Toyota, VW and MAN trucks and also Iveco. I learned how to drive trucks there. So it was easy for me to drive a tractor. So I started driving a tractor, early in the morning, making sure that I put it in a space whereby I can cover as many cars as I can. From thereafter, I'll push the machine forward and drive a tractor and go, forward. And that was the process, And I did that, and I remember we won the contract, BMW was very happy to see that, because I remember if I was not mothballing the BMWs, there was a time whereby we have to take those BMWs to terminals whereby we have to put them to, there is like a charging station whereby there is a space whereby we have to charge the batteries. We call them the terminals. We charge the batteries so that, people who are doing the IT stuff in Roslyn, they can still monitor that BMW, although it is in parking, they can still know that it is still in the yard. In case if people are taking it out of the yard without their knowledge, they will know that, oh, that car is gone. And it also helped with the tracker and stuff, but that was what I was doing during that time. And we won that contract. I remember we won Mahindra contract. I remember we won a Jaguar and Land Rover. I think they're going together, because I remember that time, it was the time we were seeing the F-Type Jaguar, one of those top sports cars. So I was in charge of that. We started winning contracts. I remember Ford was there when they introduced, Wild Tracker, Ford Ranger, when they introduced Everest. I was there, making sure that I put in the work. And month end, when the salary comes, it was only 3.8. I didn't even make it to 4,000 rand. And I remember how things were. So that is the story. Now, there were guys who were way younger than me, because of they have driver's license. These guys were driving the F-Types. These guys were driving those Jaguars. Those guys were driving, the latest BMWs. They were driving the Mini Coopers. And I couldn't drive because I didn't have a driver's license. I'm asking them to borrow me 5,000 so that I can go and have money to go and do a driver's license without any pressure. But they couldn't do that. But that's life, guys. So some of you guys who are saying, the test is difficult, you want to quit, think before you decide to quit, because of getting a driver's license, it will help you tomorrow. Because look at the situation. I was washing cars, but I knew how to drive. Guys who comes in with a driver's license, they were smashing those cars like nobody's business. A car will be beyond repair. I'm like, how do you make an accident whereby the car can be beyond repair if you're driving in the yard, in a storage? I couldn't understand. I'm like, brother, how did you pass your driver's license if you can't even park your car in the parking bay? It was just madness, and I was driving that tractor every morning while it's still dark, and I will maneuver into all those parking bays, pulling a trailer at the back, because I have to, pull this tank of Jojo, which is full of water. Life is unfair sometimes, and it is what it was during that time. And I'm just saying, guys, the decision that I took, made me suffer a lot. And I remember the guy that I was working with him on the weekend or during the week, and he said something, and he said, ever since brother, he was referring to me, came to the team, things are so easy for me. I can even go and jog in the evening because of when I knock off, I'm still fresh. Basically, what he was trying to say is that I came to the team and I lifted the whole team by myself. So he doesn't have to do the hard work. It's just easy for him. He can even brag about it. And he was still the favorite. Now what happened was, the weekend whereby it's only 500 cars or 300 cars, I was told that I cannot work overtime because of the job is for one person. And that one person, it was him who was there to mothball those cars. And if the cars were over 1.2, 1.5, that's when they call me to come and use manpower. That's how the situation was. But it didn't last long because I understood what was going on. One day, me and the guy that I was working for, his wife, and we had an argument because she said something whereby she was telling me that, I pay you. If I say you must come here by this time and do this and that, you have to do it. It was on the weekend, and I told her that you are paying me peanuts and you don't pay me to sit down. You pay me because of I work. I show up and I make things done. That's why you pay me. And you pay me peanuts, by the way. All these other guys who are driving cars, you pay them twice than my salary. And you forgot what I did for you guys. It was a big thing. She was so angry. And she said, you cannot speak with me like that. I was like, yeah, I'm telling you. Because sometimes you need to tell people. I said, you forgot what I did for you. I came in here, I changed everything. We won the BMW contract. We won, you know, the Mini Coopers are here, the Land Rovers are here because of what I did. I sacrificed. I made sure that I was here early in the morning, 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock in the evening. You couldn't even give me 4,000 rand. You still paid guys double my salary. And you don't see nothing wrong with that? You know what? I don't even have to be here. It's Saturday today. Let me go home and sleep. And I remember when she told me that if you walk out of that gate, forget about your job, you know. If you walk out of that gate, your job is, you have no job no more. I said, whatever, just do whatever you like. I don't care. So I walked out because I was like saying, I know what I'm bringing to the team. So if you're not happy about what I do, you're not happy, I'm happy with that because you're telling me to my face that you don't appreciate me. You know, and she was like, say, I'm going to call my husband. I'm going to tell him how you're behaving. I'm like, I don't care. Call him. Tell him that I'm going home. So I remember that day, there was this other guy who was way older than me working for Motovia. He decided to take, you know, the car and go and give me a lift so that he can tell me that, man, what you did was very brave. And what you did, you know, you might sit down tomorrow and feel sorry for what you did, but that was the right thing. We all know what you did for him. And he just left you. They came back, you showed up, the business is there, but they still don't want to pay you. They still don't even want to borrow you money to go and do a driver's license. So what you did was the right thing, my brother. And that was the right thing, because I remember on Monday, he showed up, the boss that I was working for, the guy with the wife. It was a big meeting, everybody's there, they're all angry, and they were like disciplining me, you know, telling me that, you know, we cannot help everybody, you know, we gave you a job when you didn't have a job, you know, we trying very hard to look after you, you know, and if you don't want to work for us, man, don't disrespect us, just tell us that you don't want to work for us, this and that. And I tried to explain the whole situation, but he didn't want to hear anything. And I told him, I know that you're going to side with your wife, but it's not a problem. I knew this is going to happen. You know, I wrote a letter. This is my resignation letter. If you guys cannot, if we cannot see things eye to eye, there is no need for me to show up here and, you know, make sure that I deliver what I deliver for you. You know, it is what it is. And I remember it was silent in the room. And it was like, okay, it's like that. Okay, you came with the letter. I'm like, yes, I came with the letter. Because, look, I don't have to be here if you don't feel like my presence has to be here, you know. And that's how it was. It was like maybe they thought it was a joke. And just like that, I decided to go to places where they will appreciate me more. And long story short, right now I'm busy writing my own first novel. And what I'm telling you, it is not even in the book. The book is a different set. You know, I have, you know, about 3 YouTube channels that I'm running right now. And these are my goals. You know, I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I make sure that I work on it. You know, I'm reviewing films on the other channel. I'm writing my books like I told you. Like I am like creating content and I'm making sure that I'm writing short films and everything. You know, and I just want to tell you guys that, you know who you are. You know, sometimes people will promise you heaven and earth, you know, and they don't even own an island. So you just have to know who you are and stay true to yourself. And I know during this time, you know, many people who will be desperate because of we will be losing, you know, jobs, and others will be losing breadwinners at home, and you have to go and show up and contribute something, you know. And I'm looking back and I said, you know, what if I just became brave 2007 and go there and find my driver's license? Maybe life was going to be different because of, I'm saying this because of 3 years ago when I met the guy who decided to do me wrong at Benoni. I also met the lady that I was, you know, having a problem with, where I was working for the husband, you know, because I don't want to mention her name. She was at Captain Park, you know, traffic department, and she was with her family member. You know, she's a white lady, of course, and you can tell the young lady was like maybe 18 or 19, you know. They said she couldn't further her studies, so they wanted to give her a job whereby she can work with them and save a little bit of money so that she can go and continue with her studies. And I remember when I was sitting down and I was like, okay, now they felt like it's better for them to go and help somebody who is their family member, but they never saw me as family. They never saw me as somebody who was there to bring business. And after I left, the guy who was bragging about, since I arrived, now he can have time to go and have the evening jog, he had to deliver, and he couldn't deliver. Because that's when he realized that he need extra 2 people to do the job that I was doing alone. And he didn't last for a month and they had to fire him. Because he couldn't cope with the pace. Because those contracts that I made sure that I went hard so that we win, they needed to be managed. And he couldn't manage them. So sometimes people cannot value your effort. And I remember they lost a lot of contracts after I left. And when we were there, we were talking. I remember we were talking about our children. I was asking her about her daughter, how's things going, and she was also asking me about the time of my daughter. It was just one of those great moments of saying whatever happens years ago, it happens. Now we have grown up. Now we are doing different things. And I asked her about the business, and she was like saying, man, things are very slow. That's why you see us. We are even trying to put family, into the business so that we can help each other, so that, we can build up. But before I met her, I had people who were even telling me that, man, they lost, a lot of contracts. I think maybe, if not Toyota, maybe Ford, they lost a contract, because those were like the big contracts, and life is too short, guys. Some stories, people cannot share, and you need to know these things, guys. You are 20, and some decisions that you're making right now, 10 years later, you'll be like, I wish I didn't do that, And I just feel like I can share the story with you guys so that you can, grab each opportunity that you can have. Even if it's an opportunity to go to school to become a security guard, grab that opportunity, because it will help you. For me to end up, being in the security business, there was a guy when I was at shelter who told me that swallow your pride, go and find a job whereby you can continue with the things that you want to continue. But if you get a security job, that little money that you have, you can do certain things. And I managed to get that security job and save money and get myself a driver's license, get myself a passport, get myself a laptop, teach myself how to, create content online, teach myself how to write a book, how to edit a book, buy softwares, we all start from somewhere. Sometimes when we see people, on that upper echelon, when they are on that higher level, achieving great things, we think they just started there. There is a ground level. And I appreciate you guys showing me love and support. Go after your dream. Don't give up. If you want the driver's license and you think it's important for you to go and get it, go and get it. Don't be afraid to go and apply for a passport, even if you know that you're not going to go to a country anytime soon. But apply for that passport. It takes like 10 years. Apply for that passport. It is not that expensive. If you feel like you can have something that can be a plan B or a backup, go and do it if you have an opportunity. And if you have a family that wants to help you with the computer course or security, business or whatever, just go and do it. Make sure that you have qualifications, because that will give you an edge or an upper hand when you will be negotiating for your salary or the things that you will be expecting from your work. Because sometimes when you're just looking for any job, that's where the problems start. People take advantage, and at the end of the day, you'll be the person who will be crying and you'll be saying people robbed me. But people will always be who they are. So just be yourself. I appreciate you guys showing me love and support. Thank you.